I probably look really dark right now, and y'all never see me live. Hey, IG Live, this is Charly Palmer. I'm in my studio for a moment, hanging out with some friends. I wanted y'all to check this out because this man, his name is Darryl Chappell, and he's part of what's called the Chappell Foundation. It's to help you all, because the majority of people that follow me and stay connected with me are artists. Artists want to pursue their careers. Darryl has been instrumental in making these programs happen all around the country and different parts of the world. So this is Darryl standing behind me there.
Hello everyone, this is Darryl Chappell with the Darryl Chappell Foundation. We're headquartered in Washington, D.C. And as Charlie mentioned, our whole purpose is to empower Afrodescendant artists to achieve their highest potential. Really glad to be here with Charlie, looking at his phenomenal work in his studio here in Atlanta. This is the first time for the Darryl Chappell Foundation to be in Atlanta, and this is not the last. So glad to be here and some powerful work.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
you.
This
is all spontaneous, y'all, because I just came stopped in. Like, in fact, I'm gonna take my camera so we're gonna walk around a little bit. You can see that my buddy Blue is with us today, acting cool, and then also his brother Puzzly. Just cool. I'm not even used to it. It looks like I medicated them or something. And I did not medicate them, okay? I'll make that clear. But we're going to walk around, just kind of give you an idea of the mess in my space right now. My video game, I don't touch it. Young people touch it, and they're much better than I ever was. So I don't even think about it. And then you see my bookshelf. You see a mess here because I was hosting some things. These are a lot of my boxes that I use for shipping stuff out. There's a couple of works that are completed. Works that are getting ready to be shipped out, and you see a ton of work in progress. So you'll see a lot of these unstretched canvases. You'll see some that are already pre-stretched. And then I work in both these spots here, and I work over here. So I've actually had this wall built because it's almost a concrete wall behind it, and I needed a nice dry wall so I can stick nails and everything in it. But I'm sorry, Darryl, let's take a seat and let's talk a little bit if you don't mind.
That sounds good.
So I'm going to stick this back up here. I'd love for you to share with people more what the foundation's about here.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you and welcome everyone for joining us during this very impromptu talk. Nope, we didn't even plan this. So to Charlie's question, the Darryl Chappell Foundation, we have 4 programs for artists. One is actually an artist in residence. We have artist in residencies in Syracuse, New York. We have, with our partner at Lightwork, we have an artist in residency at the Museo de Arte de Puerto Rico, which is a part of the Smithsonian. We have Gabriel Rivera's first solo exhibition. He's a Darryl Chappell Foundation Artist Apprentice. If you're in Puerto Rico on May 18th, this coming Thursday, he opens his actual solo exhibition. And then we also partner with the Art Museum in New Orleans, where we offer a photographer in residence there as well. Then we do an actual artist talk series. We just received notice that we have funding for an artist talk live in person in Pittsburgh on June 16th. So you're first to hear about this. It's with Dred Scott and with Harrison Smith out of Pittsburgh. We also provide funding for public commission art. We partner with the 11th Street Bridge Project in Washington, D.C., where we actually just unveiled our first public commission art by Sonia Jones there at the 11th Street Bridge Project at National Children's Center in Washington, D.C. We also have an online artist marketplace where there are 8 artists featuring 60 works of art for sale. The foundation does not charge a commission. This is for the artists, and the artists actually take all of the commissions from those sales. And then the last is we offer an opportunity for artists really to receive seminars, free seminars through the foundation. We offer seminars on education. One was done last year on how to price your work with confidence by Halima Taha in New York and with Diane Deakins-Carr out of Chicago. And then we have a seminar coming up on August 24th of this year, 2023, for artists about the business of art. So offering tips on how to balance your budget, how to plan and use your resources. So just very excited to offer those programs. So the Darryl Chappell Foundation is a nonprofit headquartered in Washington, D.C. There's 9 board directors and 9 strategic advisors. 2 of our board directors are artists, and 3 of our strategic advisors are artists as well. So glad to be here in Atlanta with Charly.
All right, so this is not, because it's impromptu, this really was something we had not planned. One of my questions, and I'm sure a lot of people would ask this question, why? Like, why would you, because like, a lot of times people they have a motive behind their actions. And I found like I do a lot of mentoring and helping artists, and I understand that when I was created and brought on this earth, this universe, one of my roles was to give back. And I'm very much about passing it forward, and I know that in doing so, the ancestors will continue to reward me and bless me. And I'm wondering, like when it comes to you, Darryl, even the idea, like I understand you don't have a huge art background, but this thing seems very important to you. Where did it come from, and what do you get out of it? So why and why?
Yeah, thank you for that, Charly. So I started the foundation back in 2019. I retired from corporate America. I'm not an artist. I have no art background. It comes from my family. My family raised me in Chicago, took me to museums and galleries. So I was always exposed to the arts as a child. And then when I got into the business world, I always thought about the arts. You'd go to the museums, I'd go to the gallery, and that would motivate me to really solve business problems in new creative ways, just by looking at art. The next day, an actual suggestion would pop into my head to solve a business problem. One example, I went to the Corcoran Art Museum in Washington, D.C. It was a whole project about flow. Looked at that. Next day, I actually came up with an idea to address a business problem dealing with how to best serve the customer. So that foundation in appreciating the arts has always been there. I retired in 2019. I sold my house in Washington, D.C., used the proceeds to start the foundation. So we're talking seed money of $350,000, started the foundation. What I get out of this is a passion for supporting Afrodescendant artists who are often not seen, not acknowledged. We're talking artists from what we call the artist learning pathway. So from the time that they're born and providing guardians and parents with information that the arts is a viable career path, to the second phase, which are high school students, providing them with the opportunity to interact with an artist apprentice and artist in resident, which is the third phase, an actual artist in resident. And then the fourth phase is a mentor. So providing a mentor to those artists in residence that they can then improve, continuous improvement, improve their craft, and be able to come up with techniques to sell their work. So those are the core of our work, is that artist learning pathway. It's about learning, it's about giving back, which is a core value of the foundation.
Okay. I know, so it's great. I didn't know that you were connected with Halima, but Halima was one of our judges, and she did several workshops when we did the program with the Lakers. And she has become a very good friend of ours, and we have a funny story that we shared with her about how my wife and I got together. And it was through me making the recommendation of Halima's first book. So there's a lot of books out there today on how to collect Black art and why collect Black art. And hers was like the Bible and one of the very first. And at the time, she'll tell you, it's like it was hard getting a publisher to understand people would appreciate this, people would want this book. And I think that your passion is seen very clearly. You're on a mission. I've said before, and I'm saying it live, and maybe it's recorded, I don't know, but I'm like, anything I can do, be of service as a mentor or anything like that, because one of the things you also said is that you can make a living as a fine artist. But there's so many strategies, there's so many things that we're not taught. I always thought it was really kind of even strange when you talk about public schools not being taught finances. You know what I mean? But artists are not taught how to present their work, even when they go to art school, and how to make a living at it. And I don't get that. I don't understand that. There should definitely be programs. How do you approach galleries? Those little things like that can make all the difference. And we spent a lot of time, we continue to teaching those things. And that's very important to us. But it's like, in the case of myself and my wife, it's like we know our job is to give back. And it's a joy to give back. It's a joy to know that you've made a difference. I've had two things that I've always asked for when it's come to mentoring. It's like, all I ask is that you succeed, but I'll do everything I can to help you do that, and that you give it back. And I find over and over again, artists that I've worked with 10 years ago have now mentored 10 or 20, but it only takes my legacy. Oddly, my legacy, I hope, will be that I have created some children books that have inspired young children of color, and my focus has always been Black children. But if I get some more works in a museum, that's wonderful, but that's not that important to me. What's important is that I see, like, I spoke to a group of young children the other day, Monday, and I shared the story of, I never considered myself to be a writer. When I got the assignment to do my first children's book, I never thought, I'm gonna write a book. But I thought about Toni Morrison's quote when she says, write the book that you'd love to read. You would love to read. I'm like, I have stories. So, like the one I shared with you today about the lion.
I've been wanting to share that story with everyone.
Yeah. You know what? At some point I will.
Some point, okay.
Yeah. But it's this whole idea that's like, wait a minute. There's a story I have, and I wrote that story, and I illustrated that story, and it's been selected as one of the summer reads for my city, but it's also based in my city. I made up this basketball tournament that every summer the kids played in, and but it was my way of telling the story about teamwork. And so that was a message, but I wrote the story, illustrated it, and so I spoke to the young people about it the other day, and one of the young men, I was walking out, said, Mr. Charlie, I think I'm going to write and illustrate my own book. And I said, when you do, get from your teacher my email address and send me that story so we can talk about it, and let me see that art so I can work with you on that. But it is my pleasure to now, at this point in my life, find ways to give back.
And that, what you just illustrated, Charlie, is mentorship. And that individual then planted forward to the next generation and the next generation. So at the Darryl Chappell Foundation, the vision is that there's a community of artists actually impacting the world in positive, mind-altering ways through art. It's that simple. The key is that there's a community. It's not an individual doing it on their own. It's working together in community for the purpose of the community to have a positive impact through art. So that's the actual vision that we have.
Okay. Well, I'd love to be a part of it.
Well, thank you so much.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
But, this is why I'm here now. Believe it or not, y'all don't know, I work every day. Or what we say down here, every day. I work every day. But today I was actually taking a break, and I just came in to grab some things and ran into Darryl, and I said, "Come on down, let's do this." And so, if y'all have any questions, drop them in my DM. If you want to get a hold of it, I will post it also on my DM, how to get a hold of Darryl Chappell in the foundation if you want to, because I know there's some artists out there that we're connected, that you might want to be a part of this program in your city or your country. Please DM me, and I'll forward the Chappell Foundation information to you so y'all can get involved with that. But thank you all I see people like popping up. I don't know how this live thing works, but I see a lot of people are responding, so I'm glad to see y'all. But y'all should be outside. Like, I'm about to be enjoying the weather. Unless you're in some place like I'm from, Wisconsin, it might be freezing there. But anyway, it's good to see y'all responding and everything like that. I will forward the information to you so y'all can get more on it. All right, and let's turn this camera around because y'all want to like, who's doing all that? Because it ain't the dogs. All right, give them your IG information.
Okay.
Yeah, you want me to turn around here?
Okay, wow. Okay. Peace and blessings, family. It's your girl, Nayusi and Wesley with A Black State of Mind Photography. Diasporan storyteller, photographer, poet, dancer, healer, ancestral resonator, okay? But nice to meet you. Thank you for having me and showing me. I'm a little shy.
Right. Oh, no, thank you so much.
I will give you her information, too. And she's in our building, y'all. Y'all won't believe the kind of talent that we have in this building here in Atlanta, all right? But I'm going now. Y'all have a wonderful, amazing rest of the weekend, all right? Peace and blessings.
Bye-bye.